This episode of the Red Bull Rant is by the fine patrons that support us through patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. You can support us for the low price of $1 a month, and you can get exclusive content, including a monthly wrap-up for the New York Red Bulls. We want to send a special shout-out to our patrons who support us at $5 a month. That is our producer-level reward. Thank you to Jeremiah Dempster, William Martin, Gwen Rachesco, Clayton John, Chris Adamek, and Maeve Dartinez. Now, on to the show.
The Red Bull Rant is a free-flowing conversation amongst three lifelong wackos that may contain adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, my friends, to the show never ends. This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. I'm your host, Jason Iapicco.
I'm Pat McDonald.
I'm Truman, and this is actually episode 389. Say goodnight to the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Reza Ramon.
Yeah, that's a little sad news. Yeah, this is the actual episode 389 because I miscounted last week. I didn't do a simple check of our SoundCloud account to make sure.
For shame.
Yes, I failed as the producer of the show.
Speaking of failing, guys. Oh, hey. Oh.
And the show has reached a new low.
Tell us how you really feel. Okay, you're a shit manager.
That wasn't what I wanted to play, but it still works.
Yeah, it was.
I've like shit.
No, I mean, our shit manager is the one who says the roster's not good enough, so.
Good point. So, yeah, Red Bulls lost their first game of the year to Minnesota United, 1-0 at home. Patrick Kamala should have had a penalty kick goal. He's failing his role of Golden Boot winner for penalty kicks.
Yeah.
Truman, do you have the tweets or do you need me to read them out?
I got him right here. All right, here we go. Forte says, this is the same old story. Good pressure and chances, but can't convert. Opposition scores, they park the bus, and game over. Very frustrating year after year.
Mm-hmm.
Steven Santos at Creepy Taxi. Dude, that penalty taken by us was horrific, and second half we looked crappy. It was a cold, snowy, and shitty for a Sunday night home opener. Yeah. JBS at JBS319 said, when's the Gotham opener again? Jay, we'll just have you look that up so you can figure out when that's going.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even put it on this
The typing here.
Tonino M said, first half, 2022 Red Bulls. Second half, 2021 Red Bulls. Laquinas looked good. I'd feel a lot better when he and Fletcher are on the field. And then we have Leo at RBNY Leo 10 said, what happened to Caden Clark? He dropped off massively, gave nothing tonight. Also, our fullbacks don't overlap when they need to, and Morgan is good but shouldn't play a 10. And then replied by TJ, which was Caden Clark is from Minnesota, so he didn't play well, so his home team won.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's a lot to talk about. So let's get right into it with our dislikes. Pat, you can go first. What did you dislike about this game?
I mean, I guess I'm going to say Patrick Kamala. I mean, I think it is quite clear, and I've harped on this in the past, the guy's not a designated player. He should not be on a designated player contract. He is not the difference maker that you need to be as a designated player. That penalty kick was atrocious, absolutely awful. I mean, yeah, I understand he converted a bunch last year, but that was a gimme goal. And he, everyone's talking about what an amazing save the goalkeeper made. No, he didn't. It was a horribly taken PK. And I'm sorry, if you're going to be a designated player striker, you got to score goals. You got to put more of an imprint on this game than Patrick Kamala does. And he's nothing special. And I don't think at this point we should expect anything more from him. So it's a waste of a designated player slot. He's at best adequate, and we just need more out of him, and we're not getting it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty bummed about that. You're right. That PK sucked. If you're gonna shoot in that spot, you got to give it more power than he did, because it was too easily saved. Like if the keeper stretched out, gets a hand on it, and the ball deflects out, yeah, you could tell he put some oomph on it. But I mean, the keeper dives and just touching the ball easy. That's weak sauce. A weak sauce PK take. Very upsetting. But what I'm going to touch on is I hated the lineup. I hated it. We had a ton of success with the two forwards. Why not stick with it? Why change something that worked? I just don't understand that, because maybe then with two forwards you take a little bit of the pressure off the one forward. Yes, we know Tom Barlow is not the world superstar goal scoring machine, but still, I don't understand it. I hate it's like you're outthinking yourself. Play with what worked in the last game. I don't understand. Doesn't every other team in sports do that? Oh wow, we won a game last night. All right, let's put the same lineup. I will probably, have success. And if you don't, change it during the game. But I hate it. I hate the change like that. Hate it.
Yep.
And my dislike is going to be the majority of the second half, right? We've seen this is unfortunately a running thing with the Red Bulls since Jesse Marsch took over in 2015, where they've consistently been down facing an opponent whose game plan is then to sit back, absorb the pressure, and counterattack. And time again, this team has shown that they can't create the chances on their own without forcing turnovers further up the field. You have to be able to have a plan B. We've always talked about that. Tom Barlow trying to go for a bicycle kick in the penalty area, which A for effort, I guess, but that is not the creativity you need when a team is letting you have the ball. There was times where I saw Lewis Morgan literally stand still with the ball for a good 3 seconds or more. No Minnesota player pressured him, and he did nothing because nobody was making a goddamn run. How do you expect to do anything when you're not moving?
Right.
And I think the few times I saw movement, they were let's go to the wings and hope we can cross the ball in. That movement doesn't work when your opponent is bunkering in and packing up the middle of the field. You got to do something, and they couldn't do it. Which brings me to Lewis Morgan might be the best player on the team this year so far.
Yeah.
He, I believe, was the only guy who gave 100% for all 90 minutes. He's the only guy that seemed to care about trying something different. I mean, he had 2 shots from outside the box, which is unheard of in this team over the last few years. He was at least trying something. The first shot from outside the box, he forced a save. I believe it would have either gone in or just clipped the post. The movement, or his possession was pretty good. His movement with the ball was pretty good. He might actually be a playmaker the Red Bulls have been waiting for. Not that he's, probably the best playmaker in MLS, but he's a guy that works inside the system. At least it seems like. Now, can we get the pieces around him? We'll see.
So, I mean, I'm going to talk about the defense, as we did a lot last year, because they still kept the team in it. They gave up 1 goal. You expect more than a goal out of the offense at your home opener.
Yeah.
They've been playing hard all year, just like they did for most of last year. So let's hope this continues. At least we know we'll be in most of the games we play this year.
Are we going? Is that your like? Are we going into our likes?
Yeah.
That was mine.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty obvious when I started heaping praise on Lewis Morgan.
So I guess I'm just throwing to Laquinas. I mean, I think he was a late game sub. I do think he had he made a few good passes. Give you a little something to chew on. Maybe hope that he will in fact make some kind of a difference, aid in the attack. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm just gonna give him my like for this one.
By the way, I like the fact that he was, what was it, like Wednesday or Thursdays when he showed up in New Jersey, and less than half a week with the team, and he's already making a bench appearance. Like, when's the last time you've had a player do that? That's coming in fresh.
Yeah.
Yep, he was ready to go.
Yeah. All right, afterthoughts.
Yeah, refereeing. Boo.
Yeah, back to my dead horse segment.
Boo refereeing. I mean, he missed 2 clear handballs. Now, the one in the second half, that was probably just outside the box.
Or it was right on the line where you couldn't call either
it was right there. I'm not saying it's a definite penalty kick, but I mean, he missed the first one, which they had to go to VAR and review, that we all saw.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one in the second half, I mean, I don't know how you miss it, and then I don't know how it doesn't get reviewed. That was hand out. Hand comes out, knocks ball down.
Yeah, that one was more obvious than the first one.
What's not a penalty there?
Yeah.
The only way it's not a penalty is if it's outside the box.
But it's still a free kick.
Yeah.
Hand out.
It should be. Great.
Ball goes down.
Problem is the VAR can't call a free kick. That's the real issue.
And well, you need to look at it.
They should have called it on the field and then let VAR say, hey, it's not conclusive to be a penalty kick. We're going to call it a free kick instead.
Right. But I just don't know how you miss it.
Let's talk about Aaron Long get taken down the box when the ball is literally like a foot away from him and nothing. Not even a VAR check, right? Like live for the lineman and the referee, I could see them missing that call because there's a bunch of players and you don't see it. But when the camera clearly shows the contact is taking him down, you have a chance to go back and look at it. And that one would not have been a question of inside the box or not. That one, and Shep said it best, like the one penalty call we got was less clear than the 2 that were missed.
Yep.
I think afterthoughts made kind of go on board with, I forget who tweeted it, but Caden Clark, I mean, just he hasn't looked right for a long time now. I don't know if he needs a real legitimate change of scenery. Maybe he needs to go to Austria. Obviously he does not look ready for the Bundesliga whatsoever. But, I mean, considering the hopes that a lot of people have for this kid, that he would eventually be a U.S. national team player. Now, he is still young. He can still come around. But, I just feel like his performances of his late have been very, very disappointing. Then I guess my other afterthought really is every time I begin to remotely believe in this team, they let me down. Every freaking time. So I think for the benefit of the entire Red Bull audience, I'm going to forego any hope of the belt. And I'm just going to predict losses for the rest of the year. That's it. Loss every game. Doesn't matter if they're playing a B team on Cincinnati because the main players all got COVID. I am predicting a loss no matter what. So that is my gift to the fan base, because as long as I'm predicting misery, they do well. And if I think they're going to do anything right, they do miserably. So there you have it.
We should have known that there was no way they were going to win their first 3 games of the year, because they've never done it before. And we should have just known. That should have been the sign right there.
True.
And we're like, not this team. No. They got our hopes up. They really did.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other thoughts about the Minnesota match?
It sucked, but it could have been worse. You could have been in New England for that Revs game. That was way worse. So
True. All right. Prediction standings. Nobody got anything right at all. So no change. I'm still in first with 2 points, and you guys are tied with 0. So let's talk about the next match, which will be against the Columbus Crew at home on March 20th, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, at Red Bull Arena on MSG/MLS Live. The Crew come into this game 2 wins and a draw. They beat Vancouver 4-0 on opening weekend. They drew 10 men San Jose 3-3, and then beat Toronto 2-1. So mixed bag of results. Can't really tell anything about those, about how Columbus is doing this year. My prediction, I wish I could. I feel like going with the 2-1 win again, but I feel like that streak's now over after this week. I'm going to go with a conservative 1-1 draw. I am not sure that we can produce 2 or more goals against Columbus. We traditionally played very tough games against them, haven't really blown them out. And unless we get Lacuna starting 90 minutes and he blows everybody's socks off, I don't think we're going to start seeing offensive explosion for at least another few weeks. So let me phrase it, a true offensive explosion, because after this week, I'm guessing that San Jose and Toronto was more of an aberration than anything else. So that's where I'm saying a 1-1 draw at home against Columbus. So Truman, what's your prediction?
If we play 2 forwards, we're going to draw 2-2. If we play 1 forward to start, scoreless draw. I'm going to say draw either way, but mine hedges on how many forwards start that game. So if there's 2, 2-2. If there's 1, 0-0. How's that sound?
I don't feel like you should get the hedge on that one.
If it's Barlow and Klamala, 2-2. If it's anything else, scoreless draw.
All right.
I'm putting your hedge in here, so. All right, Pat, what's your prediction?
All right, so yeah, I think they're gonna lose.
Gee, who saw that coming?
I do think Columbus is the better team. I think they've, they're not even relying on Czar to score anymore. I forget who the guy is, but they got a new goal scorer. They're looking all right so far. Yeah, I understand they drew one of the teams we beat and beat one of the teams we beat. But they didn't lose at home. So, and we did. And we lost at home to a meh team. So, therefore, I'm going to go with a 2-1 loss. Columbus Crew make my home debut miserable this season.
Please let Pat have the week 1 energy. That's what I'm hoping for. All right. Any other thoughts on the Columbus match?
At least I'll get to watch it, I guess. That's the only good thing.
Yeah. All right. So it is time for the dumping ground.
I'm the trash man.
All right. So first thing on the dumping ground list, this was announced today. The Court of Sports Arbitration, or CAS, upheld UEFA's Championship League and Europa League ban of any Russian teams in the tournament. So no Russian teams will be involved going forward in those 2 tournaments. Kind of surprising, honestly. When it got brought to that, I figured that they would have let them in because, I don't know, because it would have went against some weird rule that nobody ever heard of.
Yeah.
No information yet on the challenge for the FIFA ban, so we'll have to see how that one turns out. Next, this one seems to be getting weirder by the day. So, Chelsea apparently is under sanctions, as well as their, I guess, former owner. I'm not sure if he's technically owner at this point, Abramovich. What those sanctions are still being seen. Pat had said earlier in the week, or last week, that basically they couldn't do fancy hotels, they couldn't do all these flights and stuff like that. I thought it was kind of weird, but apparently it's right. And England, the government in England is really coming down hard on Chelsea. So their big ones going on this weekend is their FA Cup match at Middlesbrough. In the FA Cup, the ticket sales are split 45% for each team and 10% for the FA. And apparently, Chelsea's not allowed to collect their 45%.
Yep.
So Chelsea responded by asking for the match to be played behind closed doors for, quote, sporting integrity.
Yeah, nice try, idiots.
Yeah.
Nice try. That's the fucking dumbest thing I ever heard. We have nobody there.
Which, they're not stopping the Chelsea fans from showing up. That's what they try to sell it as. Like, oh, our fans can't go, so we shouldn't be able to have their fans there. No, it's just you can't get the money.
Yeah.
Right.
And then apparently they would have booked a air flight to Middlesbrough. They weren't allowed to do that. And they have to take a 10-hour train ride before playing the game.
How is anything in England a 10-hour train ride?
That's what I was kind of wondering.
Must be a lot of stops.
Yeah, it must be. I'm going to look it up because I honestly don't know how far away they are.
I don't care. It's like New Jersey. Right? I mean, what's bigger? England or New Jersey? I mean, it's New Jersey size. It's like a 3-hour drive anyway.
I think it's a little bigger than that.
Top to bottom, 3 hours. Come on. I don't, you're on a train and you're not even going to sit in traffic. It's taking you 10 hours?
Well, Middlesbrough is in North Yorkshire. And it's 217 miles from London.
10 hours?
So, according to...
Well, you've seen Harry Potter. That's the type of trains they have in England, I believe.
So, I don't know.
That's true.
I don't know where the 10-hour number came from because now I'm looking at Google. Google says by train, Middlesbrough to London is 3 hours and 14 minutes. One way.
I don't know.
They got a train layover somewhere. That's what it is. They got a train over.
Maybe they have to maybe it's like a freight train. And they have to chase it down while it's moving and hop into the.
It's like a hobo railroad.
Yeah, it's a hobo railroad.
All right, let's see what Google
Stop
Maps
off
says
at Ipswich first, eh?
Yeah, they got to carry their boots and their uniforms in the bag on the stick.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like they got to change lines, and that's why. But I mean, still, it's not bad.
It's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
I mean, that driving distance, that's what, like New York to New England, roughly?
Yeah.
That's like 5 hours driving that way. So, I mean, that's 3 hours versus what? Maybe like 30 minutes on a plane? Yeah, it sucks, but I mean, of all the things to fucking complain about.
Yeah.
I don't even remember I saw the 10-hour number. Wish I hadn't seen that now.
Yeah. Also, one other thing about this sanctioning is that I heard it on the Caught Offside podcast. Apparently, they can't sell any new tickets to Chelsea, which I don't know if we mentioned that last week. So all tickets that have been purchased for future Chelsea matches will be honored, but they can no longer sell any new tickets to Chelsea matches.
Well, they just propped up the scalper market big time.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? Buy yourself some Chelsea tickets for dirt cheap on StubHub and then relist them.
If they're dirt cheap at this point.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they couldn't sell. Well, I guess it makes sense. If they can't get income, they can't sell tickets.
Right.
I wonder if they can even sell concessions. I would laugh if they can't even do that.
From my understanding, they can, I think they can sell beer. I think I read, and that's it.
So,
Beer,
I guess they figured the fans would riot if they couldn't drink in the stadium. So let's give them that.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think of the Chelsea fans chanting Abrahamovic's name last weekend?
I mean, from reactions from some of them afterwards, it sounds like they realized they'd done fucked up. So I'll give them that. But yes, it was probably one of the most tone-deaf, dumbest things a fan base could ever do. I mean, to an extent, I get it. I mean, they were a nobody team before he came around, and he brought them championships, so I can understand it. And as far as I know, Abramovich, I mean, look, his money's tied to Putin, but as far as I can tell, it's not like he's going around like, yes, Ukraine, they think it's a good idea. You know, like it sounds like he's kind of distanced himself a little bit from wherever, but yeah, it was tone deaf. It was stupid. And I think a lot of them realized they fucked up afterwards. So I'll give them that.
I expect nothing less from Chelsea fans.
All right. Anything else for Dumping Grounds?
Yeah, we're not talking about the teeny tiny NYCFC banner.
That's right.
Hilarious. That's so funny. That's just more comic gold right there.
Yeah.
More comic gold. Tiny banner.
I figured that would have came up in a different segment this week, but
this one I don't understand. They're trying to pass it off as, well, the Yankee banners are the same size. Ugh. Yeah, but when you guys play a home game, you could probably find a place to display like a giant championship banner for your home games. Big old, but it doesn't have to be there every day.
Exactly.
Your home games, boom. Big old banner. There it is. Loud and proud. I swear to God, when you guys sent that link, I thought it was a joke. I really did. I thought that was fake.
Definitely
I
wasn't.
thought it was like 5 fans were like, "Hey, check this out."
Imagine being one of those people that unfurl that banner and being so fucking joyous about it.
It's a fucking poster board. That's not even a banner.
Yeah. I gotta admit, like they were like, oh shit. Like, what an honor.
You know those signs the marching bands carry in the Macy Day parade to like identify themselves? That thing is like that size.
Not even.
Not even that size?
They'd wish it was that size.
Yeah, there's no reason, like Truman said, they can't have a banner. They just bust it out for every game. That's a little bit bigger. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's pathetic.
They changed the ads on the outfield, right, between the two teams.
Yeah. Yeah, they changed a lot of shit. A ton of shit gets changed.
And
that's fucking shocking.
And yeah, the Yankee stuff might be, quote, small, but if I remember correctly, they have one whole wall dedicated in the outfield. It's just their logo, and then literally every year that they won, just around it.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I mean, from a space perspective, you're talking 26 versus 1. 26 smaller makes sense than 1 small, right? I mean,
right.
The joke, I'm actually kind of curious now. The joke I made was BWP's retired jersey number was bigger than it. I think it actually is.
I think it is too.
I think it is, yeah. Well, they can get a bigger banner when they get their own stadium. Yeah, like that's happening.
Don't worry, they have plans. They have plans. They have ideas. They have plans.
Yeah.
Things are really coming along. Garbage barge.
Garbage barge stadium. We know it's happening.
All right. Anything else for Dumping Grounds?
Nah, because we got another show. We got another show before the U.S. national team. So.
Whoop. Yeah, I've dumped enough.
Good point. Yep, we do. Okay. Before we jump to the next segment, I just remember we got to go back to this. So what's not in the agenda? New York Red Bulls 2 started off their season the same way the Red Bulls did this week with a loss. Theirs was 2-0 though at Miami FC. And this is their last season in the USL Championship, I guess. Next year they'll be moving to the MLS Next.
Super happy fun league.
Their next match is tomorrow, actually, the 16th, at 7:30 p.m. against Atlanta United 2, and then they follow up on Saturday the 19th at 1 p.m. hosting Luton United. So, I love how the USL Championship starts and they're already in double match day weeks.
I can't wait. I can't wait till the U.S. soccer just ruins their youth system by letting MLS teams go into their own little private league. Because, the German system in which they let their youth teams play in the lower divisions has paid dividends, and it was starting to pay dividends for us. This is the dumbest fucking thing. It drives me nuts. But I suppose I shouldn't crow about this after being told that they lost, but Red Bull 2 being captained by Scotch Plains resident John Murphy. So, what up, Scotch Plains?
All right, and then we had a tweet asking about Gotham FC. They start their NWSL Challenge Cup group stage games this Saturday, 7 p.m., when they travel to take on the North Carolina Courage. Their first home game is going to be April 3rd, when they take on the North Carolina Courage. Wow, this kind of sucks for them. They got to play 3 straight away games and then 3 straight home games in this group stage.
Yikers.
Yeah. They with the Challenge Cup last year, they made it to the finals, right?
Yes, they did.
So hopefully it comes back this year and they do well. All right. So that takes us to the next segment, Pat's Betting Corner.
All right, so I got some fun ones this week. Here's a fun one. Bet that it's an all MLS semifinal in CONCACAF Champions League. And do that because it'd just be fun, right? It'd just be fun to see all 4 teams. Well, not NYCFC, but they're already beating the shit out of Communication, so it's a foregone conclusion. But the other three, that'd be fun. And then my other thing is I think I'm going to bet on a really crappy game, and that would be a Miami versus Cincinnati draw.
Oh.
That is my bet for the week.
I mean, that's an early wooden spoon matchup. So,
Yep.
all right. So now it's time for the last segment of the show: Truman's terrible team of the week.
That's terrible.
All right, we could have gone two ways here. Listen, I really wanted to give it to Orlando, losing to FC Cincinnati, 2-1 at home. I really wanted to do it, but I will never take an opportunity to not rip DC United for losing at home to Chicago 2-0. Ha 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 ha. We're not the only ones that suck at home.
And we only lost by 1 goal.
Try.
All right. Anything else before we wrap up this week's show?
Fuck no.
Nope.
Okay. You can visit us at patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. Email us. And shit, I didn't check the email. I'm pretty sure there's nothing there, but I might as well check real quick. Nope. Okay, good.
Perfect.
You can email us, redbullrant@gmail.com. You can call us, 973-348-5329. Facebook.com/Red Bull Rant. On Twitter, at Red Bull Rant for the show. At Dr. Stooge for myself, at The Truman for Truman. Subscribe to our show via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, YouTube Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. Last words before we get out of here.
Fucking A, come on, get your shit together. Just don't fucking embarrass yourself on the field at home 2 weeks in a row. I can't handle that shit. Just get it together. Fucking do this. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna pile on the double win. So Red Bulls win. Please. Fuck sakes, Rutgers.
Yeah.
1 game. Just win. Just beat Notre Dame. Please just beat Notre Dame. That's all I have.
That'd be a beautiful thing. Come on. Let's do it.
When's Rutgers playing?
Tomorrow night.
Okay. For Pat, Truman, and myself, this has been episode 389 of the Red Bull Rant. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, go Red Bulls.
Bye.
Lights.
Got to